Claire, the financial announcements and commitments have started flowing in, of which the Elysee promised 12 over the course of the day, all designed to really close that gap between the amount of money that's really required to beat climate action and the projects on the table. The gap is still far too large. Now, the event today is being co-hosted by the United Nations alongside with the French government and the World Bank. And joining me now is the head of the United Nations Development Programme, Achim Steiner. Many thanks for joining us. Now, a raft of announcements expected today, but for you, what is the most anticipated? Is it about being transparent in financial transactions? Is it about $1 on the table? What's the most anticipated announcement?
I think the fact that when people leave this evening here from Paris, one thing will be clear, a clear signal into the market that investments in the low-carbon economy are increasing exponentially, and that's what markets are looking for. This summit was called by President Macron to add momentum to the Paris Agreement, and the World Bank and the United Nations, in joining, all agree that it is a financing dimension that is critical now. And we are seeing announcements here by the private sector, the insurance industry, but also by business leaders, but also by governments. For instance, also in China and India, there are increases in investment in the low-carbon economy that are vastly higher than people had anticipated in years past. So this summit is indeed sending a signal that there is much progress, even though we have a major gap to fill.
Now, this is the first time a climate summit has been directly focused on financing. Is that because it's the elephant in the room? It's the problem we can't deal with right now?
In some ways, it is the elephant in the room when we look to particularly government-to-government finance. And one of the underpinnings of the Paris Agreement was that the industrialized countries would mobilize up to $100 billion a year for developing countries to respond. But what we're also seeing here is that this is a logical next step. The Paris Agreement is working. Countries are implementing their nationally determined contributions and national climate plans. And now the real variable that will make a difference is their money available, not just public money. Is the financial system, are the insurance companies, the hedge funds, the national sovereign funds, the pension funds, are they investing in tomorrow's economy, namely the low carbon economy, or are they sticking to the 20th century economy? That's why this summit is so important, because governments and leaders in the marketplace have to align to the same perspective on the future.
Many thanks, Achim Steiner, United Nations Development Programme head. In the next coming hours, we know that the heads of state will make their way down the Seine River by boat to this conference venue, where there'll also be further remaining announcements to be made, as well as a speech by French President Emmanuel Macron.